What do you enjoy so much about the fans and the scene here at Colossalcon that keeps you guys coming back year after year?
For one thing, all of the attendees at Colossalcon are smarter than the people who interview us. And so it makes the panels totally worth going to, even if the media stuff isn't quite as, and I know we're in Ohio, so the media is used to dealing with, disappointment for sports teams and things, so it's okay. But actually, we love this convention. I mean, it's a really busy con, and every convention's different, and they're all good. But Colossalcon starts fast,
Right.
where everything it's almost frantic, but it's not a stress frantic. It's a happy frantic. It's like everyone on ADD is in the same place at the same time, and we all have access to sugar.
There, now I don't have a mic in front of my face.
Actually, we like that look. View obscure. Anyway, I'll be sleeping in the hallway tonight. Again. With Kyle. No.
Hi, Kyle.
So, can you tell us the difference between Samurai Sword class and Ninja Sword class? What would separate the two of them if you were to also give a lecture on them, but also what gives them the distinctive style difference between a Samurai Sword and a Ninja Sword?
The swords themselves are actually the same. The difference is in the science behind and the philosophy behind how they were used.
The application is key.
Application is key. Normally for samurai sword combat, the samurai, this was about up front, face to face, shoulders square. I have a problem with you, you have a problem with me, we're going to settle it like men, which worked for me until I got married. Ninja, this was about espionage. It was about being sneaky and getting in places you weren't supposed to be and getting back out. And if you use the sword, it was supposed to be not so much a conflict as a way to get away. So the tactics were different. And for our ninja sword class, we actually teach reverse grip sword, where you're holding the sword, handle still obviously in your hand, but the blade, instead of coming up this way, runs this way, and the sword was held behind your back, tucked into your shoulder to disguise your reach, to make it harder for your opponent to gauge where you could hit them and where you couldn't. And so the techniques are Japanese sword combat's based very circular anyway, but while the samurai would use straight lines to get to their opponent, the reverse grip ninja sword class was mostly about circular movement on the part of the practitioner as well. That was probably more serious of an answer than you were expecting.
No, that's actually really informative. I appreciated it. Thank you so much.
Did I talk too fast for you? Did you follow me?
I followed you.
Okay, good.
Now, what about the...
No, he didn't.
So, next question is, what about the I'm So Dumb panel, which I'm sure is a favorite for all. How's that panel go? Jillian will answer this one.
So the Samurai Dan I'm So Dumb panel is largely anecdotes of situations and awkward things that have happened to Dan at conventions. That's largely started by his general lack of knowledge about anime culture.
Are you saying I'm dumb?
No, I'm
Ignorant. We'll go with
ignorant.
Naive works too.
And his introduction to learning what yaoi and some other awkward parts of hentai was a whole nother experience for Dan. So it's
Not old enough for this convention.
the I'm So Dumb panel just kind of is fun and stories and stuff where the attendees get to learn more about some of the embarrassing moments of Dan's journey into anime land.
And frankly, people like to come to it because everyone likes it when something dumb happens, as long as it doesn't happen to them. Yeah. And this panel is all about, I don't make fun of anybody in the audience, I'm making fun of myself. And because why should you get to have all the fun? I should get to make fun of myself too. And that's basically what the panel is just, I'm an idiot, and I can own up to that. Been married for long enough, I'm resigned to it.
Aw, it's okay.
It's not normally considered romantic. What's the best thing about your marriage? I'm resigned to it.
You're breaking the camera, man.
As long as I don't break the camera, that's happened too.
True.
So another way of having fun with you is the Cards Against Humanity, which is not only fun for you, but also fans and the guests. How is it like doing that?
I actually really love Cards Against Humanity. For all that it's a really perverted, disgusting game, if you remember that life is serious enough on its own, it's a chance for people to just let go and not be politically correct and not be mean or vicious about it either. Just try to find the humor in every situation. And so when we play Cards Against Humanity at a convention, we take all of the attendees and we divide them into teams. Because if you've played Cards Against Humanity, some of those answers are horrifying. Yeah. And you learn a lot about people having to pick the right answers. So putting them into teams to pick answers, it's fun for them and it's hysterical. And we work really hard to make sure that all of the answers come across as funny. Because if you've played the game before, not every hand is a winner. But instead of going, oh, this was a dumb card and throwing it, you make a joke about it, you find a reference to make it funny and make the attendees feel good about themselves for the answers they came up with. And other guests like to play the game and be the judges because it's a no-stress way for them to be funny and relate with the attendees because there's no prep time for them. Yeah. It's like voice actor's dream. All they have to do is read off a card. There are no multiple takes, though. That gets some of them in trouble.
And we can't use names, but since after-hours panels, there's no recording. We will frequently get different voice actors that will join us and randomly start voicing some of those horrible cards in their character voices, which is hysterical.
Nightmare-inducing.
True.
I guess I'll have to check that out later tonight. So,
old enough.
So any news outside of the convention world that we'd like to get everyone caught up on? I know the books is finally done.
Oh, I thought world news. I'm like, ISIS is a problem. We're not so much at this convention, but I'm watching them. Our novel, the novel is finally out. It's available to buy. Fenris Farrar. It has words and everything. I wrote a werewolf novel about a motorcycle gang. Because they say when you write, you should write what you love. Okay. And I love monster movies. Werewolves were always my favorite. My all-time favorite movie is still, to date, The Wolfman with Lon Chaney Jr. from 1941. Wow. Favorite movie ever. And I'm lucky enough to have remembered it when they first put it out in the theater. Okay, not quite. But I also love motorcycles. Yeah, and so being here for Colossalcon is kind of a double win for us because there's also, this is Bike Week. Yeah. So I get to go out in my normal clothes, which is bike boots and a leather vest and a Harley T-shirt, and I fit in as close as I do anywhere. But yeah, the book's out. The sequel should be out this fall. This is June, right?
Yes.
Okay. I math. I just can't do calendars or dates. But the sequel to Fenris Farrar, Abomination, should be out later this fall, and I'm very excited about that.
Awesome. And
you can get Fenris Farrar on Amazon or Barnes & Noble.
Really
and we also
plug.
They're going to ask where they can get it other than at a convention. If they can't get it at a convention directly from you, Amazon or Barnes & Noble, and it is available as an ebook also.
All right, cool. That's good. We can catch up digitally too. Now, again, do you have a busy summer as usual that will conclude when we see you again at MatsuriCon coming up?
Yes and no. We have a very busy summer. This is the start of like 12 weekends in a row for us. Okay, last weekend was the start of a 12-week run. But when we get to see you guys again at MatsuriCon, that concludes the summer for you guys. And for us, summer kind of runs until the second week in November. Because that's her birthday is November 14th. And no matter where we are, we have crappy cold weather for her birthday. It's always cold and rainy. So for us, that's the end of summer season. Because October's still mostly nice, but when her birthday rolls around, it's going to be crappy weather, and that's kind of the end of the anime fun for a little bit. But yeah, we have a really busy schedule, not because people like me, but because I have no filter, and it makes it fun to be around me because I'm the guy putting my foot in my mouth instead of you. Right. So we get hired by a lot of places, just because also that we bring the Akitas. Puppies. Everybody likes puppies, and everybody likes sharp, shiny, pointy things. So we get to travel a lot.
Yeah. I say I'm born on the 23rd, so I understand how you feel about November.
Yeah, all the important people were born in September, though. Just so.
My brother is, too, so that works out for you.
I am not your brother. Stop trying to tell people that.
Now, how can we keep up with the lovely folks over here at Samurai Dan on the internet via Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, all the lovely things we can keep up with you?
We have a Facebook page, which is Samurai Dan and Jillian. Very easy. we keep up on that the most. Kyle Abear helped me set up a Twitter account like 3 years ago. I think we've done like 4 tweets ever, but they're awkward, funny pictures of Dan. But I'm trying to get more onto the Twitter thing, but mostly Facebook or just emailing us.
Okay. Alrighty then. And
I don't technology.
and of course the all-important football question: can the Detroit Lions win games without Dominic Sue?
Yes. Was it? What?
What's your prediction? How are the Lions going to do this season?
They were really underrated last year. They kind of snuck into the playoffs, and for all the new coaches and everything in the NFL, nobody made a big deal about Jim Caldwell being hired to coach the Lions. And I always felt that he was going to do a really good job of straightening out the offense. And they were they weren't as good last year as I think they're going to be this year. Other teams made a lot splashier signings. I mean, Ndamukong Suh leaving and going to the Dolphins. The Dolphins kind of now have a win now or die philosophy because his new contract's going to come due, so they better win. But I honestly think the Lions are going to do pretty well. I don't know if they're going to hit 11 wins just because the Vikings are a lot better. Yeah. The Packers are still in that division. And there is another team in that division, but they suck.
Oh, yeah, that's the Bears.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So in addition to the pro football teams in the NFC North, there's a semi-pro team in Chicago. So if I had to predict for Detroit on the one-loss total, I would say if Matt Stafford stays healthy, and if Megatron stays healthy, their tight end they drafted last year, Eric Ebron's supposed to be making a big jump forwards. If they can stay healthy, which is kind of the thing for all teams, if they stay healthy, I'm guessing 10-6, maybe 11-5 if they kind of peak and take another step up with Caldwell's second year. There. Yeah.
Where's Starscream in that Megatron mixture?
Where's what?
Starscream.
Who is Starscream?
Megatron's right-hand man.
I have no idea. Megatron's a nickname for Calvin Johnson, the football player. I don't know. Is that a video game thing?
That's also a Transformer?
Oh, yeah, Megan Fox. Yeah, that's all I know about Transformers. It was supposed to be a cartoon or something, but I remember Megan Fox.
Alrighty, well, thank you, Dan and Jillian.
I'm now totally distracted. Has nothing to do with football, but Megan Fox.
Say bye-bye.
Bye, Megan.
Bye.